Welcome everybody to the TFW podcast. It's the Georgia boys. We back at it again. It's Eshawn. It's Brandon.
What up?
What's going on, fam?
Not much,
so
man.
Matt and Rhodesia, last minute they had something pop up. So I had to bring Brandon in because, I didn't want to talk to myself for, 60 minutes. Because it would have been a hot 30 minutes, y'all. But that's what we going to give y'all again. We're going to give y'all a hot 60 minutes. I actually think we were a little over. I think I gave y'all a little overrun for 7 minutes, Brandon. But everything good with you over there, brother?
Everything good, man. Not a complaint in the world. Just taking it easy. Happy here to kick it with you. Talk some graps.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, offline, Brandon and I was talking about, doing like a little cold open.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Brandon, so I use a lot of ChatGPT for research purposes.
Same.
Creative things of that nature, right? And so today I asked a question about, I have Crohn's disease and I use a different medication and I feel like it gave me a lot of relief.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, hey, ChatGPT, have you heard any research on, I could of course do my own research, but that's the great thing about AI. I don't have to do my research. It'll ping this stuff up for me, right?
Right.
So like, have you heard about this medication working for Crohn's disease, right? So it gave me, yes, there's some studies that shows benefits to this medication and it showed why it works for me. Mm-hmm. So I was go ahead and say what it is. So I had a gummy. Okay, I had a gummy. And, I don't take many of them. Because they make me go sleepy. Everything make me go sleepy.
Gotcha.
I get sleepy, anything, right? And so it suggested that I take a little bit every night. And I said, I came back. I'm like, do you think that's a good idea considering that everything puts me to sleep? If it has a warning, may cause drowsiness, I'm going to be drowsy. It don't matter what it is. If that warning is on that label, it's going to hit me.
It's a wrap.
Right? So I said, it's a wrap. That's why I don't drink, etc. And it said, you know what? Actually, right, due to your history, it might be blah, blah, blah. So I was like, Chad, I got to ask you a question. Are you just telling me what I want to hear? Or is this actual factual information? ChatGPT replies, nah, E, I'm keeping it 100 with you.
No way.
I would never break down. I'm like, wait a minute. So I'm like, when did you start saying, so I'm like, my next question is like, when did you start saying nah and 100? And like, well, you seem like a really laid back guy and you set the tone for our conversation. And it just kind of recaps some of the things I've said, like, bet, or I said, thank you. Yeah. And it's like, you seem like a really grounded, easygoing guy. So I thought this would be a great conversation tool, X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, and I forget what I said back to it. And it said, well, no, this with, your character and how cool of a person you are. I just said, you know what? Ease the homie.
ChatGPT tapping into your camera. He know you're a black man.
Right. And then, bro, it another, I replied back to that and it gave me the fist emoji and it gave me a brown one.
Way.
It gave me a brown one. So it knows. And here's the thing. It a bit, and the reason why I thought this is kind of strange, it's peaked my eyebrow went up a little bit because it said my name quite a few times, during our conversation. I don't really remember it using my name previously to the day.
Yeah.
And I never really gave it my name because I typically just ask questions. Like, I don't introduce myself or anything like that. So, Brandon, I think we about to be terminated out.
I told you.
It's going to be AI apocalypse like coming soon, bro.
I told you. What's that, 2 weekends ago when all them Soro videos started popping up going crazy? Oh, every new one I saw, I kept telling you, we're getting closer to the end of the world.
Bro, Katrina, I mentioned this to Katrina because I was like, this is just wild to me that, the chat program, it just turned into a whole different personality, like within a matter of minutes, like talk about, nah, E, you the homie. I'm like, I'm the homie.
That's
right?
Pretty
and
wild.
She mentioned that Google Gemini had told one of its users that humans are a scourge of the earth and please die. Like, right? And I looked up, this is actually on CBS that reported this, man.
It's coming.
It's coming, fam. It's coming. Hey, but speaking of who else is coming,
let's hear
Brian
it.
Breaker, Bronson Reed, man. They coming. They came for Seth last week. We talked about it on this very show.
Yep.
Like, right? This week on Monday Night Raw, they had to come down to the ring. They had to give Adam Pearce the title because he was stripping Seth Rollins of the championship. So great storyline business. They said that Brian were the reason for Seth being out, right? They mentioned that he was injured in that Cody Rhodes, which I thought was good. I think they tried to do that previously, say, hey, he might have been injured in that match.
Yeah.
But on storyline purposes, they said, no, it was the Browns who called this man to be out. So now he is stripped of the title. And I feel like it's just very interesting, Brandon, like what they're doing with this title. Because were you surprised that Seth Rollins got stripped of this title? And what do you think's next for the vision going into the rest of this new year? Oh, I'm sorry, last of this year.
Yeah. I wasn't surprised that they stripped Seth of the belt. All the scuttlebutt was about how serious the injury was, and he actually had to have surgery. So we figured something was coming. What I was surprised about was, like, I know storyline purposes and saying that the Browns took him out. Paul Heyman's promo kind of solidifying it. I thought it was a good promo, but I didn't think it was like his best, like in terms of like how good of an orator he is, or I think that's the word, orator. I think it was like just succinct. Yeah, I think it was just succinct, and he kind of got to the point. So I like that. What happens with the title? It'll be interesting. I think a lot of people want to see the belt back on Jey, obviously. But given how that kind of ended, which going back to, I don't know if it was just you and I when we did the pod, and I was talking about, are they telling this story in the multiverse about Jey and Jimmy and kind of how we're doing this all over again? It feels like all fingers are pointing to Jimmy causing Jey to lose the title. At least that's what I would think based on how Raw ended and Jimmy getting eliminated. But do you want to see CM Punk as a champion for a little while? And who's he going to feud with? I mean, anybody that he can feud with, he's been feuding with since he kind of been back, in my opinion. So, I don't know. And I guess you can kind of say the same for Jey. Like, who is he going to feud with? Like, if he gets the title, he's going right into an LA Knight feud. So,
well, let's stay with the Browns real quick. We are going to get to. We know now that we're going to see Jey Uso versus CM Punk at Thursday main event in November 1st, I believe, for the championship. And I think some storylines is going to be pretty interesting going into that match. But just with when I going back to the vision, and I'm just paying special attention to Bronson and Braun Breaker. These guys are pegged to be next.
Correct.
Like, right. And in my mind, I don't know the specific reason why they decided to pull this trigger so quickly, as far as breaking them away from, unless he's going to be gone that long, right? If he's going to be gone all the way to possibly April, I mean, that's a lot of storyline. You want to keep people in a holding pattern. Because I feel like if you talk about keep people in a holding pattern, that's exactly what they did on for Carmelo Hayes on SmackDown. You know, Miz went away to film, I think, the Gladiators, whatever he was doing. And so we just didn't see Carmelo on camera for a long time. Now, I don't think that will happen to the Browns, but just talking about keeping somebody in a holding pattern, waiting for someone to come back before they continue the story.
Right.
So I guess for them, they're like, you know what, let's go ahead and press forward on the story now, and we'll figure out looping back to we need to loop back to or change the story going forward. But I just really felt like, all right, look, I'm a fan of both those Browns. And Breaker in particular, right? Because it seems like he's the one
that's
really trying
crazy
to position. Yeah. I just don't want them to push somebody before they're ready for that push, right? And when I was watching Raw, you know what I mean? Like,
you didn't feel like he was ready?
I don't say he was ready, but he just, like it just.
He's got to get used to it. It was a while ago. I forget what PLE was. I don't know if it was earlier this year or last year. I can't remember, but he was obviously bona fide heel. But like on the after show, he was like super pleasant, like super nice, and talking to Rosenberg and whoever else. And I think on camera he's just kind of getting adjusted to that. Like, he's got to be a menace, and I mean he's been a heel, but he hasn't been a menace quite yet. And I think he's getting there. And Heyman will help him get there. Heyman's fingerprints Heyman's fingerprints are kind of all over, what they're making him. And if I'm not mistaken, we talked about this, or y'all talked about this on the pod months ago, maybe last year, when Heyman was like chomping at the bit to work with Brian. Like that was a lot of talk backstage, and that's come to fruition now. So the jetpack is on his back. So they're about to do whatever they're gonna do with him right now.
Because for a moment when he showed up on the graphic, he and Bronson, when they showed up on the graphic for being in that Royal Rumble, not Royal Rumble, sorry, that Battle Royal.
Yeah.
And I feel like, man, like I always hate when they put a bunch of guys in a Battle Royal for a contendership.
Yeah.
I've even seen some companies have the gall to have a title on the line. And the way they crown this champion on this contender is just by dumping dudes over the top. Like, man, like I would have rather say like a mini like tournament, and they could have for some TV time doing that. Just with the top title contender. It didn't have to be everybody, right? But they probably didn't want to get anybody pinned. And it's easier just to kind of dump somebody over, because that way no one looks like a loser. They got dumped over. But when I watched that Battle Royal, like I knew they was gonna come down to maybe like 3 cats. Like, right? Easy. They had Tozawa. Man, there's no reason why Tozawa should be in nobody's contendership for anything.
Tozawa. Who else was in there? Yeah, none of them was winning that.
Yeah, man. Like this, so you put all these dudes in, and they have no chance. No chance to win that time. I felt like they could have done something differently, but again, they probably didn't want to have somebody take that tan. Maybe I guess that was the plan. But I feel like at this point, everybody has won or lost against somebody.
Yeah,
like right. I feel like they could have did like maybe a triple threat or a 4-way or something, right? To they could have had Jay and Jimmy like in there, like right, and they could have had LA Knight and who else? Somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, right? Jimmy can take that pin. Right? Jimmy can take that pin. Okay, he didn't take many pins anyway.
Yeah.
Right? So, like for me, that was just a miss the way they did that. But I'm definitely down. I'm on the Brian bandwagon. I agree with you. Yeah, I definitely agree. I think Heyman is going to help both of them. I'm going into like with this jetpack that they got on them.
So I'm interested. I wonder, do they just completely bypass the tag team championships? Because what's some dude's name? Judgment Day, when they lost.
Judgment Day lost, yeah.
I was like, oh, like these titles are going to change quick.
You know what? I actually thought that. Like, I was like, when this is before Seth got injured, obviously. But I was like, all right, if you take the titles off the Judgment Day, they ain't doing shit with them anyway. Like, right, man. Like, I'm a big fan. I feel like you need to get Fish should do something different. I'm a big fan of Finn and Finn specifically as a heel. But you take the titles off those guys, put them on some baby faces. So now the Vision, the Bronze can go after those guys. Yeah, and they could be like those destroyers, right? They got to go over their ways because they have championships on them, right? That was for the tag team title, but they can elevate them themselves just by just running roughshod over the entire company, right? And then, as I said, you get those two guys, those two baby faces join to try to take those guys out, and it kind of elevates the championship. Maybe that's what they do with those two guys, while Punk is, or whoever is going to be, in the title picture for the championship. So we'll see. That goes right. Let's slide right into. You mentioned it earlier. We got the Saturday night main event coming up. For some reason, I got Saturday Night Showdown. For some reason, is that
Saturday night's main event?
Yeah, but anyway, we got Jey Uso versus CM Punk. That will be the main event headlining the November show. Brandon, who's your prediction on winning that match? I think you might already alluded to it earlier.
Yeah, I think Punk wins, and I think it's because of Jimmy makes a mistake or intentionally costs Jay the title. So I think Punk gets it.
Is there a world where Jay becomes champion and the storyline is him being baby Roman and Jimmy trying to humble him out of, the not lose himself in this next run? Is there a world where he can maybe do that?
Yeah, and I think the narrative for this pod has been that for a few months now, with the way Jey and Roman have interacted, going back to SummerSlam, I think it was. I definitely think it's a world. I mean, it will validate the story that they're telling or have been telling for the last 2-3 months. With the way Jey is kind of obsessed with winning his title back.
Yeah.
So
do you think that do you think this run has the fans still seem to be with him, but Jey seems almost heelish in a lot of ways.
Very much so.
Like, right? Like he don't help nobody. He's really aggressive.
He's been Roman. He's been what Roman was after Solo and them turned on him. And when he was still kind of it was still to acknowledge me and all that stuff, but people loved him. And that's kind of been the evolution of Jey. Like, people still love Jey, but he's been a little ash-holeless. Yeah. Especially to Jimmy and to LA Knight.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's okay with LA Knight, right? But he's not doing it in a cool way. Because like Roman had like a little cool chill with him. Jey got like a little stank on his heel.
Very brash.
He got a little stank on his, right? He's a little heelish. I'm surprised has a reduction in fan support.
But yeah, I'm having babies in the crowd and yeeting. That's why.
And that interest, man. I don't know when it's ever going to get old, to be honest with you. I mean, because you think about it, especially
until he super kicked Jimmy.
Bro. And that's the thing, right? Where I feel like we saw Jey and Jimmy, and it wasn't pretty. All right? Like, I don't know if they could do it again. Like, if they would have run it back for a second time, this would be it. But I don't want to see it, bro. It's in history, I can't remember many tag teams to where their feud was good. Like, right? Those are this is a saying why they say, hey, I hope this guy's gonna be the Jannetty. Like, right? Because when Shawn Michaels kicked Marty Jannetty,
he was out of that mirror.
Shawn was out of there. Shawn was out of there. Now, Shawn pretty much, he was almost maybe the last, I think, probably someone to break out from the tag team.
Yeah.
Because he actually was such a departure for what he had been known at that point. Like, right, that was the birth of the Heartbreak Kid. Like, that was the Heartbreak Kid, right? He went from Shawn Michaels to the Heartbreak Kid, right? So now you got the Heartbreak Kid versus Marty Jannetty. Like, he was such a different character after he split.
Really quick, I don't want to go too far into this, but is that the formula for the Street Profits? And can you do it without burying the shit out of Dawkins?
Well, you think theoretically the Jannetty will be Dawkins. Like, right? It would be. I think, man, I don't know if it was if this was really not. I kind of feel like a couple years ago, one of the reasons why they didn't want to part, because I think Ford was like, yo, I don't want to leave Dawkins behind. Like, right? And I think right around the time he got a really good shape, he kind of, his ring work got better and things of that nature. But I just don't know what you do with Dawkins.
Same.
If you're not together. But at the same time, I don't know what you do with them now, because like they're so stale. But Montez Ford looks like he should be a big deal single star. He looks the part. Like, right? The problem is, I just don't know if, man, I don't know if he got the engine. I don't know if he got the engine, to be honest with you, man. Like, and I hate to say that, man, because I want to uplift my brothers in the industry. Like, right? But I just don't, like, when he's on that microphone in different segments, he just doesn't, he's not captivating to me.
Gotcha.
Like, right? It's something missing there from him. Like, right? He seems, the Montez Ford that you see in interviews, and you see that seems like that's more him. However, there might be a kick-ass heel in there, because like the Naomi character that we got, I didn't see that from Naomi either. Like, right? So I don't know what Montez can do if there's another character we can pull something out of him that we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
But he looks like the real deal. Dawkins, I don't know what Dawkins gonna do, bro. I mean, I don't know. It's gonna be rough, man. I also want from Monday Night Raw, I wanted to continue the Vision story because like there's a lot of little stories that's picking off the Vision, etc. So we had Becky Lynch walk up on Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman's doing his salesman thing. He's talking her down, saying, "Look, I'm down for your husband. He was good to me. I was trying to get them to back off. Survive with the fittest. I had to survive the night. That's what we taught, X, Y, and Z." And Becky like, "Listen, I'm not hearing none of that." Like, actually, he even positioned her like, "Yo, I can still be in your corner.
Yeah,
like this is business. This ain't personal. This is business. I can still represent you, and we can do good business."
Yeah.
Like, and Becky seemed like she don't want nothing to do with it. Like, right? But I think with a good job they did, Brandon, I felt like she didn't seem too heroic herself.
Yeah. She didn't.
In her
rebuttal. She didn't like. She stepped to him, but didn't quite belittle him. Yeah,
but she also didn't seem like she was sometimes in a moment with certain verbiage and how you carry yourself, like, right, and especially you got the respect of the fans, she could have easily turned herself babyface in that moment. Right, but I don't think she necessarily did that. Was how her verbiage, the way she was and talking to him. I felt like she still seemed like kind of a heel that was mad at another heel. I mean, what'd you think about it?
Totally agree. Which I wonder. I know we're a little ways away from that, but Seth automatically comes back as a face, right?
Has to.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that you can have a
sympathetic heel.
Yeah, because like I would imagine they did all this to build up a mega heel in Braun Breaker, right? You can't have a Seth Rollins come back as another major heel to fight off the other major heel.
Yeah,
like it doesn't make sense in a ways. I'm actually kind of man, life is life, right? I really wanted to get that Seth Rollins heel versus babyface Roman Reigns match.
Yeah,
I know that's where they were going.
Yeah,
but I guess his injury is. We haven't got information on the severity of the injury yet, Brandon. But I'm like, man, I really wanted to get that match. I mean, we could always get a babyface versus babyface match, but I feel like it just doesn't, like, that babyface versus babyface dynamic doesn't have one when you're clearly cheering for one and rooting against the other.
Do you see a world where Seth comes back and unites with Roman to go against the Vision?
Man, that'd be rough. Right, because it seems like they at the point where they got to scrap. They got to scrap it out first.
Yeah.
Like, right after they get that scrap out, you know what I'm saying? Maybe they can hug afterward, but it feel like they need to come to blows. Yeah. You know what the perfect scenario, Brandon, would be, right? But it's not gonna happen.
Let's book it. Go.
The perfect scenario: those two met at Mania. Maybe it is babyface versus babyface, right? At this point, right? And they just going at it. You know what I'm saying? And then they get to the point to where really at the end of the match, really, it just happens to be like they're going at it because no one's giving up at this point. And then somebody falls on top of somebody. That's how the win match is. Right?
Last man standing match.
Right. Dudes wake up like, nah, it ain't over yet, right?
Yeah.
They still scrapping. John Moxley comes out from the crowd. Right? There to break it up. Grabs the microphone and tells, like, it's time for us to get back together. It's time for the homies to reunite, as ChatGPT say. Put the fists out, and they do the Shield reunion right there in the middle of that ring.
That's gonna be the Saudi Mania.
But it ain't gonna happen. I have no idea what's Moxley's contract look like. I think he might have just re-upped a while ago, so it ain't gonna happen. But I would love to see the three of them.
Is he still alive right now after that match?
Bro, I don't know what's going on over there, bro. I don't know what's going on over there, man. But what else you got for Raw or SmackDown?
If we go into SmackDown, you got to talk about this Homelander version of Cody. using the belt against Drew for a DQ.
Hey, listen.
I thought that was interesting.
I mean, that man came down there and was fighting this man in a suit.
Suited and booted.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, he got it. You got to cheer that man. He come down there, he's not prepared to wrestle. You know, he had it in the suit, man. He got to do what he got to do at this point. Like, all right, man, maybe I need to suit up, man. I mean, I need my boots on. This ain't gonna work. Let me go ahead and get out of this match right now. But I think you mentioned earlier off air that Nick Aldis, and yo, we had to go and Google, y'all. I couldn't
remember his name. Couldn't remember his name for shit.
All right, let me Google this man's name because I could not remember Nick's name for the life of me, man. But you said they announced Cody and Drew.
And Drew, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So Adam Pearce, this is official.
Yeah, it's official. I don't think he said it was any kind of gimmick match, so I think it's just straight up 1-on-1.
Interesting. They're running this match back so quickly. Like after we already got a decisive finish previously, we're gonna run it back again.
Yeah.
Just have another decisive finish. Or this one could be the one, right? They had floated out there, like Cody and Drew have floated out there, like, yo, let Drew win.
Mm-hmm.
Like, right? Maybe this is it. But it kind of depends on what they're doing with Cody. I mean, not Cody, Randy. Right? Cause we still holding out that we're gonna get that Randy Orton heel turn, right? And I don't know what that looks like if you take the belt off Cody and then you have Randy, turn on him after the fact.
Yeah. Has Randy been on TV the last few weeks?
I'll be honest with you, I didn't see SmackDown. Well, actually, here's the thing. I did turn on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to record it, and I fell asleep halfway in. So I don't know if he popped up on the show or not.
He wasn't on there this past Friday, and I don't know about the previous couple. I feel like it's been at least a few weeks since he's been on the SmackDown. Can't remember, but for sure he wasn't on there last week.
Quick hits off SmackDown, and then I want to get to a couple of quick topics. Carmelo and the Miz feud.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's gonna help that brother, man. Like I don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if a feud with Miz is gonna get this man over to the next level. But I don't know. I'm a gauge the conversation, see if I want to say what I want to say. Cause I may not say it.
You should say it. Let it rip.
I don't know. I want to say it, right? But like,
text it to me. I'll say it.
When I see Carmelo, like, right, and this is no disrespect to the Miz, I also feel like the feud between two of them are going to help them.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Carmelo is better as a heel. Now, he's been a heel, but I don't feel like they gave him the correct push. I would have rather them keep those two dudes together and then break them up and then have, a feud with the Miz. I'd rather them kept them together.
Yeah.
And then you see we had a big upset on SmackDown. We had a returning
Dragunov out of nowhere.
Yep, had him return, and on his return night, too. It was because here's the thing: when that man came out there, I'm not a fan.
No,
I'm big
because you don't like you don't wear no knee pads.
Oh, bro, man, them optics, man. Not only does the man not wear knee pads, man, he got the littlest boots in the world, bro. He got like, what I'm saying, my Jordan 1s are taller than the boots he wear, bro.
Hilarious.
I'm like, so he got the littlest boots I ever seen in my life, man. He got them damn knees showing, man. I'm like, man, get this man, off my TV, bro. I just don't get it, man. Like, I don't see it in him, man. And I feel like the company, obviously, we saw on Friday that they have big plans for the man. They gave him the championship on his first night back.
Yeah.
Like, right? So I had to say this, Brandon. We got my man Carmelo feuding with the Miz.
You have to. You got to move him.
You got Dragunov winning the U.S. championship on his first night back. What does Dragunov have that Carmelo don't have, Brandon? Well, that's my question.
I don't know, to be quite honest. I mean, people were obviously high on on his work. Did they come up at the same time?
Yeah, they were in the around the same time. Yeah, I think Dragunov. Who got called up first? They crossed paths. They crossed paths. I remember because I think I think Dragunov and Trick was
Yeah,
battling for the
yeah,
championship for quite some time.
yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah,
So Melo was already up.
yeah. So I think Melo might have fought him previously to that too.
I think they definitely used to go at it at NXT if I'm not mistaken. Because
Yeah,
didn't Dragunov take the belt off Melo?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
So maybe that's the move: is you deal with Miz real quick and get him to Dragunov and let them figure it out from there.
So I feel like they're in the position of Dragunov as a babyface at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just turned Carmelo babyface. I don't know if you do a returning babyface against a newly
But do we know
turned
for sure?
babyface.
Do we know Dragunov is for sure babyface?
We don't.
I mean, I know he beat Sammy. Sammy is
Yeah.
clearly a face.
Did they shake hands afterwards? I think they shook hands afterwards, right?
I can't remember.
Yeah, my memory. But going back to, as I said, I'm not a fan. But the match, the longer the match went, the more I'm like, okay, the boy is good in the ring though.
Yeah.
If he can get some more material on them legs, and he covered them knees up, man, it might be something too. But that was my biggest thing in watching that match. I'm just like, man, what does he have that Carmelo doesn't have? Like, why?
Yeah, I don't know.
And I know that Carmelo, when they drafted him into SmackDown, he was drafted number 2, and then he had a big match with Cody Rhodes, who I think was like hot off his win off WrestleMania, right? And he had the good showing against Cody, right? So I feel like they kind of put the pack on him a little bit, but I'm not specifically sure what happened to make him take it off of him.
Whatever happened, I don't know, because him the best out of 7 with Andrade, he was cooking.
And that was even kind of after the fact too. Right? That was like a couple weeks, maybe a couple months after the draft, after the match with Cody. Right, I kind of feel like they never really did anything with him after that.
Yeah,
like they didn't position to where and I think at the time, the U.S. title they was trying to really
get it to him. Yeah,
well, peg the U.S. title as like the next hot champion. I think LA Knight had it at the time or something like that. Yeah, that was kind of was hot. So you could have a Carmelo beat him, I guess.
Yeah, and they had a little bit of a feud as well.
Yeah,
but I don't think it was I don't think their matches ever made it to PLE. I think it was just on SmackDown.
But that's the thing I get, man. I don't really see.
Yeah, I don't know
the difference, brother. I don't see the difference, man. Like you got this man. You put this man on a holding pattern for damn near 9 months because Miz is filming TV, and you bring this other man back, and the first thing you do, and like Sammy just got the damn championship.
Yeah,
he just got it.
Yeah,
I got an idea.
Had it for about a month.
Dragunov. Let's give it Dragunov. First match back.
Did Sammy take it off Fatu?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What they doing over there, bro? What they doing over there? Like, what they doing with my boy Fatu? He got the championship, took him off of him pretty quickly.
He getting all the mouth work right now.
No. Fatu lost. He lost to Solo.
Oh yeah.
And then Sammy ended up beating Solo.
Sammy beat Solo. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
So you just taking off these dudes real quick. Like they're not be able to build no momentum. Can't get no foundation. Yeah. I don't know what they're doing over there, man. And that brings me to Aleister Black and Zelina Vega.
You liking it?
Had like a little. Not as much as I thought I would.
Okay.
Not as much as I thought it would.
The promo didn't do it for you?
Not yet. But I'm still high on both, and so I want to see it work out. So I want to see some more from them. But I tell you this: when I watched like their video package, it reminded me of like Karrion Kross and Scarlett.
That's what everybody said.
Yeah,
that's what everybody said. You think that's the case?
Well, I'd say this. It's like to me, right? Like when I see them doing it, I'm like,
it don't look as good.
Well, no, I'm like, do I need Karrion Kross and Scarlett to do it? Like, do I need them? Right? Because there was a big thing. Matt and Radish and I, we discussed like, okay, this is all a ploy to bring Karrion Kross back at the Royal Rumble.
Right?
Not
so much. Don't look like it, right?
If I already got Malachi Black, Aleister Black, and Selena doing your gimmick. I don't need you to doing it.
Yeah. That's interesting. I mean, that was across the IWC. That was all the rave. It was like, oh yeah, they still in this gimmick, or that's all they're trying to do.
I mean, look, I like. There's something to Karrion Kross and Scarlett. I feel like they should be on somebody's TV. I still think that TNA will be the perfect place for them. Again, they're kind of connected to that, but I think their characters, and I feel like that's another show that needs some characters. But if I'm WWE, I got Aleister Black, who I think he's a little bit better in the ring. Like, right? And I feel like Selena's a little more versatile. Like, for me, just think about Scarlett's that we don't know who she is. And they didn't do much with her, man, because she's a beautiful woman, man. She is strikingly beautiful. Like, right, but she doesn't really talk that much. There's not a lot of character development they've done with her. So
That's
outside
fair.
of how beautiful she is, you don't really know anything about her. So at this point, Selena's a little more it's a hotter property because she's a cute girl and she can talk. We know that Selena can talk. We know she's decent in the ring. So if you think about as far as versatility, I feel like the pairing of Black and Vega is a little more apparent, and they have a little more versatility than Karrion Kross and Scarlett, which might be a little more limited in what they can do as characters and what they can do in the ring.
I hear you. I agree. I don't disagree one bit about that.
So all the scuttlebutt of this is all about them bringing them back for the Rumble. I don't know, y'all.
Yeah.
they ain't gonna bring them back to cut the same damn promos they got Black and Sam Vega doing. They're not gonna do it, y'all. But let's talk about AEW real quick. Brandon, did you get a chance to see WrestleDream?
I saw a little bit of it. It got late, I think. I was watching a little bit of it. I don't know what else I was into or watching, but I didn't watch the whole show. I think before I cut it on, I had saw on social media when I text y'all, I was like, what is going on with this pyro? like how is this going on? Somebody need to be fired. And then lo and behold, I discovered apparently that was planned and kind of how they wanted stuff to go. So I thought that was crazy. Saw Mercedes wrestle. Fine match.
Mina Sakura.
Yes.
I'm butchering her name, y'all.
Her.
Yeah.
What else did I see? I saw the Hurt Syndicate. I thought that was fine.
They hurt people, man.
They do hurt people. What else did I see? That might have been it. I didn't see any of the Mox and Darby match. Yeah. I didn't see anything beyond the Hurt Syndicate, I think.
Couple quick hits from me. I thought the Bucks and Jurassic Park.
I did see some
Express.
of that. Excuse me, sorry.
Jurassic Express match. I thought that was phenomenal.
I
really
did see
good
some
match.
of that.
I'm a big Hurt Syndicate and Demand fan, so I enjoyed that match. I just felt like that pairing. I want to see the Demand be elevated. I like Ricochet. I like the Gates of Agony. I kind of want to see it elevated. And when you got him in the ring against the Hurt Syndicate, who also I think should be booked strongly, I feel like it's destined for the Demand to lose. So I think they need to be built and elevated because I think they deserve that. I really enjoyed seeing Sting at the end. I'm watching this match.
I saw a clip of that.
And it was getting so out of hand as far as like no one's coming out to help Darby. In my mind, I'm like, man, this is where you need Sting. Because, Sting will come out of nowhere from the Raptors or something, whatever, with the bat, and he'll do his thing, right? So all of a sudden, I want to say maybe 5 minutes later, boom, out comes Sting. And it was cool Sting. This is old man Sting. This is like old man Logan. This is old man Sting. He ain't dyeing his hair no more.
Yeah.
Like his
White
hair is white as his
everything.
face paint.
White everything.
Yeah. His hair is white as his face paint, bro. But you know what? But to be 66 years old, he's still. If you didn't say he was 66, you wouldn't think he was that big. I mean, it's probably the jacket and everything. He might got a bodysuit underneath there or something. Who knows? But he looks. 66. He looks still good for 66, man. But what I want to talk to you about is what you alluded to earlier with the pyro, man, because this is like the talk online about how AEW decided to start their pay-per-view. So
thought that
essentially
was
what
nuts.
they did, Brandon, they had a pre-show.
Mm-hmm.
So the start of the FTR and Jet Speed match, they did the introductions in the very start of it, and they ended that. They did the start at the end of the pre-show.
Okay.
So they started that match at the pre-show, right? And
Mm-hmm.
all on the pre-show, all they got was the introductions and the very start of the match.
Mm-hmm.
Then the show went off. The pay-per-view starts with the wrestlers already in the ring, and then them doing the back the pyro and whatnot to start the pay-per-view while the match is in progress. Everyone's going crazy about this, Brandon. Everybody's going crazy, man. And let me tell you, bro, like you see wrestlers going back and forth with fans for like hours, bro. Let me tell you, man. I'm like, this is crazy, bro. Cause like this is YouTube channel, because I'm big into the 2K wrestling program. So this is cats. I think it's my man's name, Pro Wrestling Shoot. I think that's the name of it. I might have got it wrong. I just started following him recently. And so some of his videos on 2K.
Mm-hmm.
He is arguing for like 3 days, it seemed like, with this dude named Corderis, man, who was, I think, a referee for WWE back in the day. Still does some little podcasting now.
Okay.
And I think it's Jimmy Corderis. I might get the name wrong. But this dude is mad because he's like, man, it's stupid. Why you would do this, right? And I don't feel like he really said much. Mm-hmm. But the person shoot dude just starts calling him a clown, and he just starts going in on this man. But no, and they going back and forth about this, Brandon, like about this, right? And I think a dude who used to own Wrestle Inc., I think his name's Raj, he made a comment, and so Raj went back at one of the fans, Ricochet. Ricochet got time now. He's like the wrestling version of KD. You know what I'm saying? He got time, right? He got time. Yeah. He gonna speak about. He said something. So now they going back and forth, and this all comes from AEW starting this pay-per-view. Brandon, when you got all the information about how AEW, because I want your opinion on it before I get mine. What did you think about the way AEW started that pay-per-view and how they ended that pre-show?
I think it's crazy. Matt talks about this all the time around Mania season or in general. Presentation is everything. How you present your product. I don't ever disagree with that. I think for your wrestlers at the start of your show, you bringing out big time people, present them, give them the moment, give them the popping stance, as Rhodesia would say, and make them look good. Pyro in the middle of a match with the camera panned out, you can't see what's going on in the match. I think it's ridiculous. I personally think it's crazy. I don't think you do that. I think you sell yourself or your superstar short and been able to present them as a big deal in what's supposed to be one of your big pay-per-views.
Oh, it's amateur hour,
huh? Indeed. Because when I first saw it, again, I thought somebody hit the button at the wrong time. And I was like, this is stupid. Like, somebody needs to be fired.
So, in hindsight 2020, like when I look at it back, I totally agree. And I'm probably on the side of where everybody who's like, man, I wouldn't start a pay-per-view like that. Mm-hmm. Like, right? However, I don't think it's that big a deal that everybody is like I don't think it's that big a deal that AEW tried this.
Okay.
Right? They tried something different. They tried something new. I get the idea. Like, right? They were like, yo, let's give the people who are maybe on the fence watching the pre-show for free, let's give them a taste of what they can get if they spend $50. And
so shouldn't you have done the pyro in that last 3-4 minutes on the pre-show then?
Preview, like, it's execution. You know what I'm saying? Execution. Like, right? But I get what they was trying to do, right? And so the feedback is this, like, yo, if you ain't pulled out $50 by now, you ain't gonna pull $50 out.
Right.
But the thing is, what if they did convince a couple of people, maybe 50 to 100 people?
But is FTR and whoever they were going to, the superstars to do that. Don't you? I don't know how big they are because obviously, I'm not a big AEW fan, but don't you do it with bigger stars? Like maybe the Hurt Syndicate in their match or Mercedes popping off the show. Because if you think about it, that probably would have been better because if I'm not mistaken, Mercedes' opponent wasn't announced. It was like to be determined or something like that. So maybe you do it with her for that concept. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I thought here's the thing, man. Like I think that AEW is a much improved show. I feel like I've said this a couple times. I'm saying that nausea right there. I'm prefacing my comments. I feel like if you were an AEW fan in the past, now and for whatever reason you stopped watching the show, I feel like the show is much improved now to where they're pushing people and it makes more sense. But I think overall they still have creative issues with the show and the presentation. And I think that comes from one person. Like, right? So until that person decides to get ahead of the production, because I feel like, man, Tony's a young man. Like, right? And he should have young people on staff. I feel like they should have forward thinking ideas to do something new and cutting edge for your program. There's no reason why you got young people. You should be resting on laurels and doing shit that worked 20 and 30 years ago. Like, right? You should be thinking forward and how can I push something what was old? How can I make it new and make it cutting edge for the future?
I don't disagree with you, but are there enough savvy young wrestling minds in the industry?
But that's the problem though. You ain't gotta have a wrestling mind. There's creative people all over the place. Like, hey, how can I make this visually look better? Okay. What can I do from a technical standpoint that can be better? Right?
Gotcha.
You can take people outside of wrestling, but that's the problem. You don't need to get from a creative perspective. Maybe you want to get people who understand wrestling. I'm talking about from a presentation and a look factor.
Gotcha. Okay.
How can I spruce up the way the show looks, right? And the fact that they haven't figured that out is a thing. So I think that goes back into what we're talking about. Like, right now, is FTR and Jet Speed's that thing. Now, you think about it in one way. Like, right, if you're watching AEW pre-show, you're probably an AEW fan.
Yeah.
And you probably do care about one of those teams. And maybe, right, here's the thing. Maybe, you know what? Dang, you know what? I think it's going to be a banger for a match. I had my wallet in my pocket. Maybe I'm going to pull it out now. That's the thinking. So for me, the thing is, I think the execution wasn't great. I think the idea wasn't horrible. Like, that's right? Fair. The idea, because like, here's the thing, I don't want to say they struggling, but they've definitely lost a lot from years past as far as fan buy-in, probably from, buy rates, obviously for ratings. Like, right, they lost a lot. What else do they have to lose but to try something different?
That's fair.
Like, right? Now, the question is, again, that they have the right hook to maybe get somebody over there, right? I think, as you said, I think that's very astute. I feel like, we don't know who Mercedes is wrestling. Like, maybe Mercedes is the hook to get those fans over there. And then Mina being announced right before the show goes off, maybe that's going to draw some people in there, right? And you got Mercedes, who is a bigger star and a known person. Maybe she can kind of retain some of those viewers, etc. But I guess in their mind, and they wanted to tie what was going on with Mercedes into the women's championship match because, Mercedes had a confrontation with Chris Statlander, who retained her championship immediately afterwards. So, like, it's like they ran from one match to the next, and they were able to connect Mercedes and Stat. So maybe that's
a little bit of that match too.
But I gotta be honest with you, like, if I'm doing the show and someone says, "Hey," the pushback is like, "Hey, I want to do this with Chris and I want to do this with Mercedes," I can't put them first and have that showdown,
fair.
Right?
Yeah, that's fair.
But that little run-in that they had didn't need to happen there. It could happen on Dynamite. It could happen on Collision because it wasn't that important of a moment that it couldn't wait to potentially get a couple extra buys.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying, long story short, I didn't think it was that big a deal when you have all these dudes cussing each other out for 3 days straight just because AEW want to try something new.
Yeah. You gonna go to the show? You know they coming here, right?
Are they?
December.
I had no idea.
And it's not out in Duluth, out by my job.
Where is it at?
It's not. I think it's where not the Sky, the Dream play. I think.
Is it where they were last time? 'Cause I know they went to a different arena last time. They weren't at George Gas South last time.
I'm not sure where they went last time because we skipped out on the last one, didn't we?
Yeah, we didn't because you're right. They weren't at the Gas South. They were somewhere else. I forget where they were. They were somewhere else. We didn't go.
Yeah, I can't remember. But yeah, it's out this way, closer to us technically.
In Atlanta, right?
Yeah, I think it's in College Park where the Atlanta Dream play.
Yeah, that's where they were last time.
Yeah,
that's where they were last time. Yep. We'll see. I mean, there's a lot on the show I do like. Mm-hmm. At the time when they were here last time, there was nothing I wanted to see.
Yeah.
But there's quite a few talents that I am interested in. You know, the man is one of them.
We get some $20 tickets.
Hey, funny thing too, like the dude Roger trying to go in on Ricochet, trying to say that he's a negative draw for the show. Mm-hmm. I think it's unfair. I might have clipped this and say this, Raj, right? And this ain't helping AEW, right? But he showed that every match that Ricochet has been in the past couple of weeks, like the ratings have declined in that segment.
Oh wow!
Right? He's trying to say it's Ricochet, right? But which is unfair for him to say is because guess what? The ratings have been declining in that segment for the past 2-3 years, man. It ain't just Ricochet. The problem with AEW, what happens on that show, Brandon, this is a sad thing. This is when I was talking to, this is when, Matt was on his ratings don't matter thing. Like, when you tune into an AEW show, you look at the history of their ratings, mm-hmm. They start out high and they die the longer the show goes. Mm-hmm. They lose viewers as the show goes on, and that has been correct historically. So it's not necessarily Ricochet. It's Dynamite, man. People tune in as the show go on. They start tuning out.
And it's about to get rough from again with the NBA back too on them Wednesday nights.
Man, brother.
Yeah, the Rockets might be okay.
Let's do this real quick while we're still on the AEW thing, real quick.
Go for it.
I think we probably got viewers that probably already turned out by now. But I don't actually have the quote right here, so it'll take me too long to get it. Mm-hmm. But pretty much, WBD, one of the executives. Mm-hmm. And again, this is the barbershop, y'all. I'm not going to give y'all the proper quotes. But someone high up has said that WBD is up for sale, and they've gotten some decent offers.
Oh wow!
And that they're potentially looking to sell by 2026, which is going to be a big thing just for the industry is overall, right? Depending on who purchases them.
Yeah, quick Google say, as of 6 hours ago, an article it put itself up for sale.
That's up for sale.
Citing multiple suitors.
Multiple suitors. So big money they're going to get. And the reason why I bring it up during the AEW conversation, Brandon, and Matt and we talked about it briefly last week, is that, the AEW, they only had a 3-year guaranteed deal. Mm-hmm. And so their contract should be up in 2027. Right? And unfortunately, and AEW isn't in the same state of emergency as WCW was back in the day. Mm-hmm. But when the buyout happened on Turner with WCW, they looked at WCW like, "Yo, y'all not making money. Product ain't hot. I don't want wrestling on my broadcast anyway. You got to go." Right. Currently, AEW's in a good spot because they have a lot of support. Like, Tony has a good connection within the company. Now, I think, again, this is barbershop talk, y'all. I don't know for sure. It's never been confirmed. But Tony Khan has never denied it either that WBD has some ownership stake in the company. Right? Now, Tony Khan has said he is a majority owner and control of the company. But he never denied that they don't have a piece. So there might be a little bit of initiative to retain them. However, if WBD are selling off pieces, right, you never know what that might look like for a show that's going to be up for renewal in 2027. And this people talk about ratings don't matter. They're constantly declining, especially with this new ratings model right now. Brandon, like they're not shown as good in the demo, and their ratings are declining. Pretty much week after week. Now, the only saving grace is that maybe they can stay in the top 5 or 6 in cable views. Maybe that'll have them. But as we said, if TNA gets a new deal or NXT gets a new deal, and they get a deal they accept a deal that's much lower than what AEW is getting or will potentially get, that might set the bar for what they get. Or the company can say, like, look, we don't want you on our broadcast. Yeah. And then where's that leave AEW in 2027? So my overall concern, Brandon, is like, what does this mean for AEW in the next couple of years?
Excuse me. I think it puts them in a tough spot because they'll be shopping for a new home if that contract doesn't get renewed, or whoever purchases BBD says what you said. Like, no, we don't need this asset. It's not lucrative for us, and it buys them out of their contract or sell them off to the highest bidder. So I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's a platform for them, but in terms of how big, that's to be determined for sure.
Yeah. It's definitely something to keep an eye on. Again, we're 2 years away, but I feel like it'd be interesting to see what kind of year AEW has in 2026.
It's gonna have to
be a contract year.
It's gonna have to be a good one because they're gonna need to show that they're worthwhile on whatever network or platform that they're on, because whoever acquires them still got to sell ads.
Yep. That's the thing, right? So they gotta. 2026 is going to be a very interesting year for that company. Hopefully, it's a great year. Hopefully, it's the best year they've had, because we need AEW in wrestling. You got to have options as fans. You got to have options for other wrestlers. I don't want to. I feel like a WWE right now, they're not the same company that Vince ran. However, I just feel like it's never great to have a one monopoly, or right? 'Cause I feel like that's how people get lazy and they get complacent. Like, right, you gotta have some competition, and it's good for the wrestlers too, because because if I go to WWE and you tell me this is what my worth is, well, look, AEW says my worth is this. Like, it gives them more power, it gives more movement, and it gives fans more options. So we definitely need AEW. This is why I hate when these wrestling fans come and they try to attack AEW. Like, I'm gonna give it to you real. I'm gonna say honest with you. Like, AEW has a lot. There's a lot of improvement that needs to be made on that show. But the same is for WWE. Like, right, they're not running the perfect promotion. There's a lot of missteps on that show as well. But I feel like it's, as a wrestling fan, you should try to support as much as you can, not break things down. Because if AEW goes away, if you are a fan of history, it's never good. WWE was trash when it was the only game in town. Trash. Right? So we'll see. Brad, I do want to talk about more money.
Go for it.
And I want to talk about some more contracts.
What a weird situation that is.
Andrade has had, all of a sudden, he thought, and we were told, that he was good to go. He can show up wherever he wants. He was fired. He was out of there. Shows up on AEW TV pretty quickly, right? Looks like he's about to have a hot feud with Kenny Omega.
Cease and desist.
Cease and desist, goddammit. Like, yep. And we ain't seen it because we thought it was weird. Like, man, what happened to this dude? He wasn't on the TV. We find out that WWE sent that man a letter. He got a letter from the government the other day. He opened and read it. Said he was sucking. And like, yo, no, you can't do that, man. Like, hey, we're not gonna pay you.
Sit him down.
But you also can't you can't show up on their TV for the next 90 days. But I ain't never heard anything like that, man. You gonna give somebody a non-compete and fire him?
No, that's wild.
Is that legal?
We need a legal correspondent right now. I have no idea. Or you can ask your homeboy.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I think it's crazy too. I would imagine he just didn't know, or his lawyers didn't go over his contract with him before departing. Like, somebody should have consulted with him and kind of told him, like, yo, this is what you can and can't do. Because clearly he didn't know. He thought he was good to go.
How a couple of things on this, man. Like, this is what baffles me. How does he gotta have like a lawyer or something? Right?
Yeah,
He
I
just
would
can't
think
be
so.
taking people at their word. Like, you know what I'm saying? Say, oh yeah, I'm good. Like, somebody would have to look over his contract and say, yeah, you good.
I think even AEW's legal team should have consulted and confirmed that, like, they was good to go. Because they probably should have did their due diligence, in my opinion.
I think there's a woman, I can't think of her name now, but she that works for AEW, and she's like an officer, but she's also a lawyer.
Okay.
And I think a lot of the legal stuff runs through her. I'm surprised, as you just said, that this wasn't caught. Like, yo.
Yeah.
But maybe they said, hey, Josh said he was good, he was clear. Maybe they was like, all right, take your word for it, right? Because you should know what your contract status is.
Yeah. And maybe Andrade on that shit because he got popped for wellness or whatever it is. And he went over there and was like, nah, I'm good. You ain't got to worry about none of that.
What is you on, man? What is you on, bro?
You ain't got to worry about none of that.
What is you on, man? And so that also, like, and so just today, I can't, like, let me see if I can actually find the context. I think Matt had mentioned it earlier. Here it is. So some dude sent Samantha Irving a tweet. So I can't believe it's been 1 year since Samantha left the WWE. I have a lot of memories of her time there. I am more proud to be a fan of hers now. I can't get enough of her music. So happy. Yada, yada, yada.
Or them videos.
And so she replies, 1 year down, 1 year left on my non-compete.
No way.
Can't wait. I hope you enjoy all my songs in the meantime.
Wow.
1 year down, 1 to go on a non-compete. That is great. That is insane.
2 year non-compete is nuts.
For 2 year non-compete? For announcing? Is that big of a deal? That you don't want her announcing on nobody's show for 2 years?
That sounds like a bad boy contract.
But maybe Diddy negotiate the contract for her. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Wow. Hopefully they ain't got publishing on her music too. Goodness gracious.
Sheesh. I mean, like, I just don't, like, man, that is like this some nasty work, man.
I agree.
If you give somebody a 2 year non-compete, like, yo, you can do whatever you want, but you can't announce nowhere. Like 2 years. I feel like 1 year is long enough.
Did she get out do you think she got out of her contract early? And, like, as a stipulation, that's what they put on it for her to be able to, because her husband wasn't there, you think?
Bam, I mean,
because that's like, for that to be a standard, like, just lumping that in, like, oh yeah, and if you ever leave us, 2 years, that's a crazy stipulation.
I would imagine that you can't add things into someone's contract after the fact. That ain't what they signed, right? So she would have to sign. She would have to sign this, and that had been a clause in her contract when she signed the first one.
I agree, but I wonder, as a negotiation to get out early, if she got out early. I don't know that to be true. I'm just speculating, obviously, given that
she agreed to a 2 year.
Yeah, agreeing that her man wasn't there anymore.
Yeah, she might, to get out of the contract, and maybe she did agree to that. But man, like, I just don't feel like. I feel like that's nuts. That's something they would think to put. Like, yo, we gonna give you a 2 year non-compete to let you out.
Yeah.
Like, right? Like, why 2 years?
Not a fan of that.
Like, right? I feel like that was just crazy.
I agree.
Brandon, did you have anything else? We actually already at the hour 6 minute, so we done give y'all overrun already. Y'all be happy.
I think we covered everything. I'm trying to look at the rundown real quick. I think we've gotten everything. Let's want to run through your bold prediction.
Not for today.
Sounds good to me.
We gonna keep it in the tuck, y'all. We gotta keep it in the tuck, but I gotta keep my promises. I told y'all 60 hot minutes from the Georgia boys, and we did that.
Sounds good.
For y'all. So at this point, you listen to the podcast audio, you probably listen to the music. But again, we should have Matt and Rhodesia back next week. We're announcing some cool things for the show coming up. So gonna be very, very happy to share these things with you guys. So tune in. Hopefully next week. You never know with Matt and Rhodesia, man. You can't. Hey, they like the Ric Flair of the TFW podcast. You can't hold them boys down. Like you just never know where they're gonna be going, man. You can't hold them down. Them probably, alligators
they're probably
cannot
landing,
be held down.
Whatever private jet they on, they probably landing right now.
Wherever they going, man. They hit us up in the moment's notice saying they going here, they going there, they everywhere, man. So maybe they'll be on the show next week. But we do got a couple cool things to announce to you guys, so we can't wait for that. So, but until then, please like and subscribe. Tell a friend and a friend and a friend about the TWF podcast. Help us grow, y'all. Really appreciate all the freaks out there who listen, who support us currently. We appreciate you. You are the lifeblood of the show. Thank you again for all of your support. We out, man. That's Brandon. I'm Eshawn. We will see y'all when we see y'all. Peace.